I'm going to try and adapt my tree spade to the quick hitch here. First thing I got to do is while I transported it, these blades sunk down and I can't get them back up, so I just hooked it up to the hydraulics. See if I can run these blades up and down. I might as well. I shot them with lube and everything here from the rust, so we'll do that first. Another problem with being colorblind, they're blue and black plugs and they're dirty. I had one of them in the wrong spot, so this should work. Amazing! Yo! So here's my first obstacle. The bottom two are lined up nicely, which is good. Those are pretty much standard. But the actual bolts for this quick hitch, this piece is too narrow. And there's really not much way around that unless I try to slide this all the way up or down, but it's still not really going to work too well. So I may have to cut these two off here, these tabs, and then weld a separate hook on inside of here, which is how a lot of the other implements are. So if these tabs were gone, that would allow this thing to come up flush and I can get a hook in there. Even more bad news, even if I could get these to line up, which I can't, because even if I put this all the way to the top, this hole right here, you could see it ain't gonna work. This flange now is almost too wide, so I take that out. That's gonna get me close. Right now it's hitting this pin, but I have probably 3/8 of an inch left where I can go that way with this pin out of there. I guess I'll just show you that. So now I'm hitting here. So this right here is about the closest. If I cut these off on a straight line right here, that's the closest I'm going to get, which is not bad. It's tilted just a tiny bit. You can see I marked the straight line there with a Sharpie on both sides. I'll be a while then. Bam! Just like that. Well, I saved myself a little bit of cutting while she was warm. I remember that from metal shop in high school. One down. Oops. Bam! All right, now I need to get a little bit lucky. I might have missed something, but anyways, this was the top link that I was using. I'm pretty sure I'm good here. I just have to be below this notch. All I really need is to drill 2 holes here to fit a top 7/8 inch pin right through here for the top link. So if I get it measured right, this should be fairly simple with no more welding or anything. All right, so now I got my top link all in like it normally goes. Something to keep in mind, make sure you have your top link in the same position for all of your implements. I still have to move it for my bush hog. That's the last thing I haven't converted yet. So I double checked this with the planter that I just did for the right position. All right, so I've got a few different options here. I'm darn near vertical, but I could grind off some of this just to give it a little bit better set. Then I got to figure out where to drill my 2 holes for a top link, and if I do it right, I should be in business. Alright, so I just knocked off maybe an 1/8 inch, give or take, right there. And I'll show you why. Basically, these weld humps here, I need a little more clearance in there. It's getting really, really close to level here. So at some point here, I got to call it in, but I'll knock off just a little bit more. All right, so I knocked off just a little more. You can see my black marks where the pins go, and I have to be getting pretty dang close. Well, it can go in just a little more. I'll pick away at it just a little more. All right, I'm done grinding here. I got it as close as I care to get it. Still not quite level, but keep in mind this is tractor stuff here. You've got a lot of play, a lot of slop, and notice how this is tapered. So it's more importantly on how I line this up. I got to be careful. If I put it too far in, I'll hitch on and it'll suck this thing in against this, and then it'll be hard to get it off. So I'll take my time. You just got to figure out now how to get where to put that bushing, or these 2 holes I should say, and go from there. I'm sure a lot of you shop guys have a great idea. Problem is I'm trying to get it done now, so I'm going to wing it. So I'm drilling my starter hole, which I see is more crooked than I wanted, and look at the bit. Yeah, I lost this one. So, time to start over. This is my starter hole. Look at how crooked that thing is. I'll make it work though. You watch. The next hole bigger, that's a 1/2 inch. And you can see here I went and straightened it out and cut a new starter hole a little bit lower. So that should line up much better. So I hit a snag here. This is a 7/8 hitch pin, which is what I needed to put in there to put the top link on, but I don't have a drill bit big enough. So my plan B is I cut another piece of this 1 3/16 or whatever this solid bar is, and I'm going to weld it in there. So the holes shouldn't go to waste. If I line them up right, that'll be good welding points there to tie this top link down, because I'm only going to be able to weld in the front of it. I'm not going to be able to get back in there behind it. So let's give this a whirl. Man, why mess with perfection? Now, a good weld, and this project will be done. Alright, this time I'm trying some 70-18. Based on love of the outdoors. recommendation. A little tougher to weld, but it really seems like it's mending on both surfaces pretty well. Well, that's ugly, but part of the problem might be that them rods have been sitting in storage forever. They got moist and now they're dry again, so that could be half the problem right there. And there you have it. I got both ends plugged in with weld, and I got the top and this side and just a little bit of the bottom what I could get. This particular implement holds a lot of weight. When you get that root ball full plus a 6-8 foot tree, and it's kind of far back out, it's going to hold a lot of weight. So we'll see how my welds did. Alright, let's rock and roll. Let's see if it fits. This thing holds a lot of weight, so I pounded it with the sledgehammer, the biggest one I could fit in there, and it's feeling pretty good. So let's go check it out. Oh! Yeah! It's about the equivalent of 1,000 pounds. Right, I am slowly, painfully slowly parking things in the pole barn. So there's the tree spade all fixed up, the planter, ready to rock and roll.